Hello. Welcome to Freedom in Humanity. Please subscribe to my channel after watching the video. This video is the 22nd part of Prophets of God. This video is about the prophet of God named Zakaria. Please stay with us until the end of the video. Zacharias, one of the prophets of Israel, was the father of John and was the patron saint of the Blessed Virgin Mary. The story of his fatherhood in old age and the patronage of the Blessed Virgin Mary are among the currents of his life that are told in the Quran. Biography, Diary. The word Zakaria is spoken in Hebrew. Her name is mentioned 7 times in the Quran, which refers to currents such as the patronage of the Blessed Virgin Mary and her prayer for childbearing. The Quran considers him one of the prophets with wisdom and a position of justice. Zechariah was a carpenter and in the Temple of Solomon as a servant, he supervised the gifts and vows of the temple. Because there were other prophets of Israel named Zechariah, they are called Zechariah III, the father of John. Lineage. Zechariah, the son of Barkiah, is a descendant of Levi, the son of Jacob the prophet, and a descendant of the daughter of David. His father was one of the 12 prisoners who were imprisoned in Babylon and came to Palestine after their liberation. Spouse and children. His wife, Isha, Elizabeth, and Elizabeth, is the sister of the Blessed Virgin. Elizabeth became pregnant with a divine miracle at the same time as the Virgin Mary became pregnant, and God named her child John. Zechariah has children by another daughter who was from a wife other than Elizabeth. Witness. The villains of his people accused him of having an illicit relationship with the Blessed Virgin Mary. After the slander was spread among the children of Israel, Zacharias fled to Boston and hid in a tree, which was cut in two, and Zacharias was martyred at the age of 99. 2 tombs in Syria and Palestine are attributed to it. There is a mausoleum attributed to Zakaria in the Grand Mosque of Aleppo in northern Syria. Zacharias' tomb is famous in Aleppo. There is another tomb attributed to him in East Jerusalem. A stone inscription was discovered in the 4th century AD on which was engraved, "This is the tomb of the martyr Zakaria, a very pious cleric, Yahya's father." Zechariah prays for a child. May God, on your behalf, grant me a clean child who hears your prayers. Zechariah's other motive was that he did not have a faithful heir and he asked God to have a child to inherit from him. Zechariah's heirs and heirs who inherited from him were not approved by him. His prayer in the Quran is as follows: "I am afraid of my relatives after me and my wife is infertile." The meaning of inheritance and heir in the prayer of Zechariah, called Zechariah's prayer for an heir, did not mean that he had asked God for a cruel son. Rather, due to the infertility of his wife, he asks God to give him the granddaughter of his ex-wife, whom he inherited from her. Zachariah's concern for the heirs was related to finances. He and his wife, a descendant of Solomon, son of David, who was considered a great fortune, were worried that Zechariah would get into the hands of the incompetent from his family. That is why Zara also cites the same verses to get her financial inheritance, Fadak. Some Shiite commentators have generalized the meaning of inheritance, which includes financial and spiritual inheritance. Ask for a sign from God. Zechariah asked God for a sign and a verse. It was a sign that he was not talking to anyone and was only talking to God during prayers. Commentators differ on the meaning and reason for this sign. Some believe that not talking to people means the fast of silence, which was to thank God, and of course the fast of silence was considered legitimate at that time. But those who have accepted one of the following three views believe that this non-speaking was involuntary and that Zakaria was not able to speak to the people and was only open in his prayers to God. Zechariah sought a sign from God to discern whether this call was from God or the induction of Satan. This was a sign to find out when his wife was pregnant. Asking for a sign has been to increase certainty and faith. As the prophet Abraham points to God to increase certainty and faith. Zechariah and the Blessed Virgin Mary. Zechariah and the Blessed Virgin Mary have a causal relationship with each other. Zechariah is the husband of the Blessed Virgin Mary. Zechariah was the patron saint of the Virgin Mary in the temple. There are narrations about the method of obtaining the veil of the Blessed Virgin Mary. Accordingly, after the presence of the Blessed Virgin Mary in the temple and the death of her father Imran, the appointment of her guardian led to a dispute between the elders of the Jewish people. It was decided that the patron saint of the Blessed Virgin Mary would be appointed by lot. According to various narrations, arrows or pens were thrown on the water, and since Zachariah's pen remained on the water and someone won the lottery to keep his pen on the water, he received bail. Zechariah's patronage of the Blessed Virgin Mary and seeing her miracles caused Zechariah to ask God to give her a child. When Zechariah entered upon the Blessed Virgin Mary, she saw that winter fruits were coming down to her from God in the summer, and summer fruits in the winter. Zakaria in the narrations. After learning about Imam Hussein, Zakaria wept and mourned for 3 days in his place of worship. Zakaria asked God to have a child who would be the light of his eyes and his heir in his old age, and to make his house like the place of Imam Hussein for him. Then he prayed, "O God, when you give me such a child, test me for his love, then allow me the same tragedy that you caused to your friend Muhammad through his child." There are similarities between the children of Zakaria, Yahya, and Imam Hussein. It is as if they were born at the age of 6 months, and just as the head of Imam Hussein was removed from his body, so was the head of Yahya removed from his body, and they carried their blessed head on a plate to the oppressor of their time. The domination of the oppressors over the people after the martyrdom of Yahya and Imam Hussein is another similarity. Zechariah in the Bible and comparison with the Quran. In the Gospel of Luke, Zachariah is introduced as a Jewish priest, a pious and executor of the divine commandments, and the Quran calls him a prophet and a mercy of God, from the Mahdi and the Mujtahids, and mentions him as a servant. The issue of the miraculous birth of Yahya and the infertility of Zachariah's wife, which is mentioned in the Gospel of Luke as Al-Isabat, is quoted like the Quran. Also, the writing of John by God and the deprivation of Zechariah of the power of speech are equal in both books. except that the deprivation of Zachariah's power is mentioned in the Bible as a punishment for not believing in the good news of God, and is mentioned in the Quran as a sign from God. In the four Gospels, Zechariah does not mention the veil of the Blessed Virgin Mary. In the Gospel of Luke and Matthew, the testimony of Zechariah is narrated by the Jewish Pharisees. There is no mention of Zakaria in the Quran, although the narration of Zakaria is mentioned in several narrations. Thank you dear friends for watching this video. Please subscribe to this channel. Be happy in any case. Freedom in humanity.